Hi everyone, how are you guys doing? This is a question I would like to ask everyone, that how many of you are basically, are you beginner, intermediate, and advanced in data analytics? I know that most of you are basically in non-data analytics field. Some of you are in cybersecurity, IT auditing, AWS cloud, DevOps, right? So what is your level when it comes to data analytics? Let's see. Okay, beginners, fresh, no experience, no problem. Okay, so it seems that 90% of our students here are beginners, and definitely it's very important that we keep the level of this whole session from the beginning so that we guys are able to understand something about Power BI, and that is something what we have kept the session today just to introduce a tool which is being used across the industry. Imagine if you're able to highlight Power BI as one tool in your resume, trust me, recruiters are going crazy about it, right? So are you ready, guys, to dive into the world of Power BI? Let me hear from all of you. Are you ready, everyone? I need maximum yeses right now if you want to know what Power BI is all about. Okay, great. Thank you. Now, before we basically go towards Power BI, it is very important for us that we understand the power of data. Okay. So let me ask this question from all of you. What is data? According to you, in one word, what is data? Can someone tell me what is data? Is it an information? Okay. Very nice. It's an information. You guys are absolutely right. Okay, I can take it as like information, like, or you can say like raw information, absolutely. Like a piece of information which has no meaning, probably, right? Or any kind of information. You guys are absolutely right. Okay. So in a human term or in a normal term, data is information and we all can accept it. Okay, we can all accept this, that data is the information. But you know what? Now you all are not just the human, you are IT human. Am I right? You guys are IT human because you guys are getting into IT slowly, correct? So when I say IT human, we have to look at the data from a different perspective. Okay. So there are four types of data. Okay. So all the engineers, all the IT people look at the data from four different types. Can anyone tell me what are the types of data? Can anyone tell me what is the type of data, or what are the four types of data? Any guesses, anyone? Anyone? Can you guess what is data? Okay, okay, sorry. What are the types of data? Structured, unstructured. Okay, amazing. Yes. So I can say structured is one. Then second is semi-structured. Okay. And third is unstructured. Okay. And now let me ask you this. This is going to be difficult for all of you. What is the fourth one? I have named structured, semi-structured, and unstructured. What's the fourth one? Okay. Big data. How many of you heard about big data? Anyone? Have you ever come across the word called big data? Right? Okay. Now let's talk about these four important types of data. Because see, for me, I can jump directly into Power BI, but I don't want to do that. I want to make sure that your fundamentals are strong before we jump into that. Okay. Uh, so now structured data. So whenever we talk about structured data, right? Always remember, whenever we are talking about structured data, it means that the data is getting stored in the form of tables. Okay, so whenever we are storing the data in the form of tables, right, then that is structured data. Okay, let me give you some example. Have you ever stored data in Excel? Have you ever stored data in Excel? Have you ever used Excel in your life? Anyone? Yes? So that is structured data. Okay. If some of you or any of you is familiar with something called as SQL, SQL database, that is structured data, right? Or let's say some CSV files. I'm not sure if you have heard about CSV files, then that is also the structured data. Okay, which means you are storing the data in the form of tables. Okay, so when you store the data in the form of tables, then that is structured data. Now, now let's talk about what is unstructured data. Before I go to semi-structured data, let me ask you a question. What do you think? What is unstructured data? Any guesses? What is unstructured data? Any guesses, anyone? Are you all able to hear me? Okay. No guesses? Okay. Okay. If I tell you, you all know the answer. Unstructured data are your photos, your images, your videos, okay, your music files, right? That is unstructured data, because you never store that type of data in tables. Okay, so you cannot store photos in the table. That is not possible. You cannot store videos in the table, right? So whenever you talk about any file, or image is the file, video is the file, right? So whenever you talk about any file, that falls under unstructured data. Okay, guys, is that clear, everyone? Are we good with structured and unstructured? Okay, great. Now, the next thing is semi-structured. Okay, now let me tell you this semi-structured. Can you imagine that when you store data in the form of Excel, right? Let's say you are storing the data in the form of Excel, there is always a limitation. Okay, if the column header says that the data is going to be, okay, let me draw it here. So let's say this is a table. Let me draw it for you. Just give me 1 second. I'm going to draw it for you so that you can understand it. Okay, one moment. Let's say this is our table. Okay, and this is the header, and here are the columns and the rows. Okay, this is how the table always looks like. Correct, guys? Am I right? This is how table looks like. So let's say in this I want to store the name, and over here I want to store, let's say, the phone number. Okay, now can I do this? Can I basically store phone number in the form of table? I mean, in the under the name, can I store phone number? Should I store phone number under the name, or should I put email here under the name, right? So if the header says name, I'm going to write name inside it. Let's say Naman. Okay. If header says phone number, then I'm going to type my number over here, right? But I cannot do this. I cannot just type number over here, and I cannot type name over here. Is this valid? So the second row, all of you, what you are seeing right now, do you think that second row is valid? Can anyone please respond to me if you don't mind? No, right? So this is the policy of structured data. In structured data, right, you have to follow the rules. Okay, always remember, in structured data you always follow the rules. Okay, and that is your structured data. But as compared to structured data, semi-structured data does not follow any rule. Okay, so you basically store data just for sake of storing the data. So I'm not sure how many of you are aware of JSON files. Have you ever seen some JSON files in the past? So JSON files are nothing but the semi-structured data. Okay. In JSON file, you can have n number of columns. Okay. Right now you have in this structure, how many columns you have? Can everyone please tell me in this table, how many columns are there? 2, right? Can I store email in this table? Can I store email in this column? No. I cannot store email in this table because this is structured. This has a rule that I can store only name and phone number. But semi-structured is you can store any data, okay, any text value. Okay, so that is where JSON file comes into picture, that it gives little flexibility to store your data. Okay, and that's your semi-structured. And unstructured is photo, images, videos, music. So let me ask you this question. Are you clear? Are you all clear between the difference between structured, semi-structured, unstructured? Is everyone clear till here? I want everyone to answer. I can see so many familiar names. Kunle is here, Ellen is here, Alfred, Annie is here. Guys, you all have to respond, please. Bright is here, Comfort, Dhaval, Femi, Francis, George. Okay. Yeah. So now the thing comes is all about the big data. Okay. Big data is something which is new in right now, correct? It's not new. It's basically 4 or 5 years old terminology, which is basically getting very popular nowadays. So now the big data is actually, it's not a form of data. It's actually a, can you tell me what is it? It's a problem right now. Okay. Generally, we keep it in the 4 types of data, but honestly speaking, it's a problem. You know why? Because so much of data is getting produced every day. So much of data every day. If you are sending a message to your friend, you are producing a new data. If you are if you are downloading a file from internet on your phone, that is, you are generating a new data. So what is happening every day? This earth is basically increasing the data every day. You cannot imagine how much amount of data this world is increasing, like every day, and that is becoming a problem. The problem is to store the data. How can we store this big data? How are we going to keep this big data? How are we going to manage this big data, right? And how are we going to, draw some results from this data? Can you imagine the problem? Are you guys able to understand what I'm trying to say to all of you? Can you imagine the problem that if the data is increasing every day and in a quantity, in a massive amount of quantity, the data is actually becoming a problem for us, for any organization. Let's say in a bank, let's say Bank of America, you're making transaction every day. So that transaction is basically increasing the data every day, right? And it is unnecessary. The transaction, what you're doing, it's unnecessary for bank, but that is important for you as a customer. So that is big data. Big data is a type of data, but it's a problem right now, which is actually a big problem for engineers like us, that we have to solve this problem. Okay. Does that make sense, everyone? Are we good till here? Are you liking the session till here? Before I proceed further, I need some yes, no, maybe. Are you liking the session still here before I proceed further with Power BI now? Everyone. Okay. Now let's move forward. Let's move forward with Power BI. Before we go to Power BI, right? We need to understand one thing, and that is BI. What does this BI stands for? Can anyone tell me what does this BI stands for? Let's see how many of you can answer this. BI. Okay. It's a business intelligence. Okay. It's a business intelligence. Now, what is data doing with BI? So at one place we are saying data, we're talking about data, and then we are talking about business intelligence. What's happening here? Why are we talking about data and why are we talking about this business intelligence? Isn't it? Isn't it something which is not making sense? Like why data and business intelligence we are talking about? Okay. Now let me give you a background about this. So 10 years ago, okay, 10 years ago, there was no BI at all. In the whole world, there was no BI. 10 or 15 years ago, organizations were not dependent on business intelligence. So what used to happen, all the decisions, all the decisions of a business used to be taken by human experiences. So let's say a CEO of an organization say, let me invest some money, let me invest millions of dollars on this project. And because of the human experience, there are very less chances that that project will get some benefit to or profit to the organization. So all the businesses in the world 10 years ago used to make the decisions based on the human experiences. Okay. So if I have a good experience with something, I would like to, put my money into that. If if a business has some has got some profit from one direction, they used to basically put that money into that area, or let's say they used to invest the money. But nowadays it's not happening. What's happening nowadays? Nowadays, we are relying on data. So what we are doing, we are collecting all the possible data, and based on the data, we are basically putting analytics on top of it. And when we do analytics, we produce possible outcomes. Okay, we produce possible outcomes. So nowadays we are not dependent on human experiences. Like if I have good experience with something, I will suggest that's not good, that's not the right thing for a business. What I am dependent on data. And when I perform analytics on my data, I get the possible outcomes. Does that make sense, everyone? So do you think a business should depend on human experiences, or a business should depend on the data? Let me hear from all of you. A business should depend on the data, or do you think that business should depend on human experiences? Okay. See the answer, some of you have answered both, and I totally agree with you. But what is happening that right now organizations are dependent on data. Okay, they are fully dependent on data right now. So because an employee can leave the organization, right? But the data cannot leave the organization, correct? So instead of relying on the data, organizations like Google, Facebook, they will not rely on employees, right? They will rely on the data. What data says, what data suggests to do in the future. Okay, does that make sense, everyone? So now so let me give you an example. Let's say, just a moment. Let's say there is a store. Okay, there is a store in Chicago. Okay, I mean there are 100 stores in Chicago. These are ice cream stores. 100 ice cream stores in Chicago, and there are over 1,000 employees working. You know, 1,000 employees working in these 100 stores across Chicago city, right? Chicago area. Now, imagine some of the stores, let's say some of the stores, like 20 stores out of 100, on Sunday evening, they run out of the stock. After 6 p.m., they are just out of stock. 20 stores, right? And what if this some of the employees, because they were too busy handling the customers, they forgot to place an order to fill the inventory. Now, will there be a business loss or not? If employee misses out to inform that there is a problem in the inventory, like we are running out of the inventory, is there a business loss or not? If the employee would have told the business to arrange more inventory after 6 p.m., maybe store would have made more money, isn't it? So now the question is, will you rely on the data or will you rely on the employee? Think about from the business perspective, right? This is exactly what is happening nowadays. We are completely relying on the data. We cannot, we cannot rely just on employee. Employees are working certainly, right? Employee can come and go, right? But data is going to be there. Data is going to be a next decision maker, which is going to help you to make sure your business runs effectively. Your business is able to run without a problem. Now you can have this kind of example in any business out there, right? So everywhere you will see that data is helping the business to make the right decisions, and that is why, and that is why we call this problem, or you can say that is why we say this. It's a business intelligence effort. Business intelligence is actually making it possible. Okay. So this is why for every business out there in the market right now, data analytics is important. For every business out there in the market, business intelligence is important. Does that make sense, everyone? Right? So now what actually happened? Big players are always ahead of everything, correct? You can imagine the organizations like Microsoft, Google, Facebook. Probably we guys are thinking about 5 years down the line, but these big organizations are thinking 20 years down the lines or 25 years down the line, right? They are planning much ahead what we can even think. So what Microsoft did, Microsoft actually launched a tool. Okay, Microsoft launched a tool called Power BI. Okay, Power BI. So Microsoft has launched a tool called Power BI. Now, Power BI is actually a tool which is a business intelligence tool for sure, but it is nothing but a data visualization tool. Data visualization tool. So now let me give you one example. Let's say if you have a meeting tomorrow, let's say you have a meeting tomorrow with with your CEO. Okay, you have a meeting and you have to basically present the data to your CEO. So will you go and present these 1 million record of data? Will you show this raw data to your CEO, or will you prefer to show the proper charts, proper pie charts or proper bar charts, where CEO can basically understand the data? So what do you think? Is this the better way where you can basically showing the rough 1 million records of data where the complete data is actually scattered everywhere? Or will you prefer the data to be presented in a form of graphical, in a form of charts, right? So that is known as data visualization. And data visualization is achieved. Data visualization is achieved with the tool called Power BI. Okay. So that is why it has become the need of the hour right now, because all the decisions, all the leadership can take the decision once the data is put in a very right format, with a very proper, result oriented format, where you can actually see the data and understand what is going on, whether my business is going up or my business is going down, whether how many stores are running out of stock, how many errors we are facing in the production server. Yeah. So all these things can be only possible to visualize with the help of a tool called Power BI. Does that make sense, everyone? Are we good till here? Are you all having the great time till here? I'm trying my best. I'm putting all my energy right down right now to make sure that I cut down every piece of information into small pieces and put it in a proper way to all of you. Great, thank you. Now the next thing. Now Power BI is just one tool in the market, but there are many tools what you can find in the market. For example, Tableau, right? For example, Cognos, right? So there are like many tools what you can find in the market right now. But why are we having the session only on Power BI? We are having the session on Power BI because this is the growing tool in the market. Go and do your research. In last 5 years, if a tool which has gained the world visibility, then this is the tool for data visualization. Okay, are you getting my point? Any Splunk is something else. Splunk talks about logs. Splunk is used for different purposes, right? But data visualization is helping for data analytics purposes mainly. You know, Splunk is preferred for logs, but log visualizations, log understanding, log analysis, whereas Power BI is not used for log analysis. Power BI is used for business decisions, okay, for something meaningful which can drive the business results. Okay. Yes, Olu. Clicks, I think, is the same tool, right? Now, uh, now let's talk about Power BI in detail. This is a time that we jump into Power BI because I wanted to give this background to all of you that what Power BI is all about. But now this is a time that we understand Power BI. See, Power BI is a big tool. Okay, okay, it's a big tool, and it is divided in four major components. Always remember, this is a very important question which someone can ask you if you walk in the interview tomorrow. So the number one component is Power Query. Okay. So Power Query is ETL, is a ETL tool. So under Power BI, there is one component called Power Query, which is nothing but ETL. Can anyone tell me what ETL stands for? Any guesses, anyone? What ETL stands for? Okay, it's extract, transform, and load. Okay, extract, transform, and load. So what is happening right now? See, data is available. Let's say data is available in many files. Okay, let's say these are different data sources. Okay, now what Power Query does, and this is your Power BI. This is your Power BI. So what this Power Query, let me write it here so that you guys are okay. These are data sources. For example, this is your Excel file. This is your, let's say, other data like tables. Okay. So you have these different data sources, and this is your Power BI tool. This is your Power BI tool where you are going to, where you are going to, create the like all the dashboards, all the charts, what you will be drawing. This is a tool. So what Power Query does? Power Query is the component of this tool. It basically gets all the data from, just a moment. It's basically getting all the data from all the sources. Okay, it is basically getting the data from all the sources and putting on this Power BI. While it is extracting the data, it is transforming the data also, because this data can be different, this data can be different, this data can be different. So Power Query is basically pulling the data from every source and putting on this tool called Power BI. Okay, so this is going to be the first component of Power BI. Is that clear, everyone? Are you all good? Extract, transform, and load. I'm getting into technical details, so please, you guys have to pay 100% attention. The second component is Power Pivot. Okay. Power Pivot. So Power Pivot is nothing but basically this is helping, to create the relation between the data sources. So when you are basically doing a data modeling, there is something called as data modeling. Okay. Data modeling is nothing but putting the data into right format. So let's say if I am extracting some data from here and I'm extracting some data from here, I want to put into a proper data model. Okay, I'll put it into proper data model, and that data model is basically created inside Power BI with the help of Power Pivot. Okay, I know it's a bit technical. When you deep dive into it, then it will make more sense, but you guys can understand it. You can just take down your notes. That's completely okay. You don't have to know it completely right now, but knowing it is just fine. Okay. So Power Query is your first component. Power Pivot is your second component. Now, third component is Power, one second. It's going to be Power View. So this is your third component. See, whatever data you have collected. So from different sources, you are collecting the data. You're creating the model. Once you create the model, now is the time that you create the charts. Okay. Now the third step is that you create the charts. How do you create the charts? You create the charts with the help of Power View. Okay. So Power View is the component which is helping you to create the charts from the data collected. Okay. So the first component is Power Query, which is helping you to fetch the data. That's number one. Okay. Number two is data modeling, storing the data in the right format. And then third is creating the charts. Okay. So for first component, okay, let me ask you this question. For data modeling, which component are we using? Let me ask you this question. For data modeling, which component are we using? We are using Power Pivot. Okay. Okay. The next question, which component is being used to create the charts? Which components is used to create the charts? Power View. Absolutely. You guys are learning. Amazing. Okay. And which component is used for extract, transform, and load? ETL. Which component is being used to extract the data? Power Query. Okay. I hope everyone is able to learn something new right now. Okay. Now, fourth component, which is very important. Okay, which is very important for us. See, this data, these charts, whatever you are creating, it is never for us. It is never for myself. Let's say if I'm creating the chart, I will never use it myself. I will always want to publish. I will always want to publish to the entire world so that my colleagues can see it, my manager can see it, right? So the last component is basically you have to publish. And what is the name of the component? Can anyone guess? That component name is Power BI service. Okay. With the help of Power BI service, you publish it to the entire world so that people out there can see your charts. Okay. So the fourth step is publish. And which components do you use it? Do you use to publish your charts to the entire world? That is Power BI service. Does that make sense, everyone? Are we good till here? Amazing, amazing. So now this is a time that we look at the Power BI, because let me check if Mr. Mukesh is here. He was planning to show the charts.
Yes, I'm here.
Yes. Okay, so guys, we will take Mr. Mukesh help, and we will be seeing the charts in front of us. You know,
Let me know when my screen is visible.
okay. See, Francis, Power View is helping to create the charts to answer your question. Okay. Okay. Yes, Mr. Mukesh, we can see your screen.
All right, so we basically have two type of applications that we can install and work on Power BI. First is the desktop application, and the another one is the website view or a web app. However, web app have some limited features, and that's the reason that I'm using this desktop application. Okay, I have already logged in. I have my account here. Okay, so now if I have to create a report, let's say that I have a data, a structured data like this. So I have this dummy data of a car model sales data. Okay. I have order date. It's a 3 month data and with region and who all are selling it out, the agents, the salesperson, and the total sale. Now let's say that I have to present this data to the manager or somebody. Okay. So what I'll be doing, I'll just go ahead and I'll have to create a new report. Let's say that I'm go to blank report, and I'll open up this blank report here. It's loading. All right, so I have it here. Okay. Now, if I have to, now we need to load that data, right? So what I'll be doing is that I'll just click on get data, and you can see over here there are a few options available: import data from SQL Server, and many other type. So for now we'll be using the SQL data. Okay, so import, and I'll just get that data from here. Okay, I already have it in my, so car sales dummy data. Okay, now once your data is loaded, you'll be able to see the data, various column names and other things. And let me just transform it the way Mr. Norman told,
See,
right?
guys, you can
So
see that this is the Power Query component where we
hmm,
are extracting the data from CSV file and loading it in the Power BI.
yeah,
Are you guys able to view the Power Query functionality here? Yes, this is the ETL, what is happening right now.
all right. So let me load it. So once it is loaded, you'll be able to see the data columns and the so you can see that all our data details here. We can see car model, category, date, everything. Now let's say that I have to create a chart of daily sales or monthly sales. Okay, total sales in month. Okay, so I'll be just going ahead with the date hierarchy, and I'll just let me select one of the chart. Let me go ahead with this one, a cluster chart. Then I'll select the date. Okay, month, and then let's say that I select total sales. So I can see here we have a full-fledged data available, like the sum of the total sales by month, and which month how much sales was made, right? If you just hover your mouse, you'll be able to see the details of the date. Jan, in Jan, total sale was 1577,000, right? Likewise here, and the other things you can see. Okay, likewise, let's say that if I have to see like who sold how many cars. Okay, the contribution of the team. So let's say that I create a pie chart in this, and I'll just select salesperson and the total sale. So you can see over here that you have your full-fledged chart ready, pie chart, and you can easily understand the data, right? Likewise, there are a lot many functionalities available over here, but yeah, I think Naman, would you like me to show more?
No, no,
Uh,
no. I think we are good. You opened our eyes, I promise you. So because it's so easy, isn't it, guys? Mr. Mukesh, if you can open that Excel sheet,
yeah,
the Excel sheet what you loaded. So guys, can you imagine that presenting this Excel sheet to my manager, or should I go and use the Power BI to, which took Mr. Mukesh just let's say 5 minutes to create these two beautiful charts, right? It is not that easy in Excel, trust me, right? Power BI is something which has made it easier. And
yep.
can you guess? Okay, Mr. Mukesh, let me take over from here. Yeah,
Okay, sure.
thank you, Mr. Mukesh. Okay, so now, uh, I was just give me 1 second. I hope everyone can see my screen now. So, let can you guess how many types of charts you can create in Power BI? I'm not saying how many charts you can create. I'm saying how many types of charts you can create in Power BI. Any guesses, anyone? How many types of charts you can create? 250 plus. Okay. So you can create the entire dashboard with, and you have the feasibility of 250 plus charts, types of charts you can create. One is can be pie chart, bar chart, column chart, 250 plus charts. And there is no tool in the market right now which is giving you feasibility of these many charts, okay, for data representation. And do you know why Power BI is actually so popular in the market? Can anyone guess why? What are the reasons of that why Power BI is so popular in the market? That every organization wants to use Microsoft Power BI. Any guesses? You know what? When when the entire world is using something, there are two reasons. One, that tool is reliable, and second, the cost of the tool is cheaper as compared to other competitors. And this is what Power BI is doing. Power BI is very reliable, certainly easy to use, and it is just $10 per month. That's all. And Power BI is better than Tableau. That is why Power BI is in more limelight right now. Okay. So these are the two main reasons that why people use Power BI a lot, or why organizations use Power BI a lot. Okay. What I would like to tell you is that if if any one of you right now, data analytics is actually growing market. If you search online, you will find almost 209,000 opportunities which are open at this point of time across US. Okay, 209,000 opportunities for data analytics. So if you're able to excel Power BI, right, you will definitely be able to get a job because Power BI is a requirement in every organization. And so from the job perspective, it is really good. What is the starting salary? Can anyone guess what is the starting salary of Power BI? Like if you get hired, what is the starting salary of Power BI? So for Power BI, you will start from 125K. That is the starting salary of a Power BI expert at this point of time. Okay. Second thing, is it complex? Let me ask this question from all of you. Is it complex? No. That is what Mr. Mukesh actually tried to display to all of you, that just knowing the tool very well. See, I know that when you are new to the tool, it will look very complex. But once you start using it, once you spend at least, 15 days, 20 days, with it, it's going to be very helpful. Trust me. So it's not complex at all. Okay. Now the next question, which is very important question for all of you. Does it require coding? What do you think? Okay. See, the answer is maybe. Okay. Let me tell you. Yes, little bit. Why? Because until you are creating the charts, it's super easy for sure. But when you basically start working on some complex aggregations, okay, at that point of time you will have to write m functions m functions or dex query. Okay. But now the question is it complex to learn m function and dex query? The answer is no. Okay. So when I say coding, it's not the proper coding, it's just a query what you write. I'm not sure if you have ever seen SQL. So in SQL, we write small queries, isn't it? Just like that, we write dex query m functions. But if your work can be sorted only by creating the charts, then you are good. You don't need to write it. But if your work is little complex, then in that case, it may ask you to write dex query, but you learn dex query and it is quite easy to learn. Okay. So this is the benefit of getting into Power BI into career option. Now the next question is, I am learning, I'm learning AWS cloud, or I'm learning cybersecurity, or I'm into IT auditing and GRC, or I am a project manager. Okay. Do I need Power BI? How many of you have this question? I'm sure that you guys must be having this question, isn't it? Right? See, I tell you one thing. IT is all about that how many skills you can add in the resume. IT is all about how can you defend yourself, right? So adding Power BI is certainly going to add very important factors. No matter if you're going for cloud engineer positions, cybersecurity, IT auditing, project managers, non-data analytics position, adding Power BI is going to be the big win. Trust me. See, I have never worked in data analytics, okay? But all my life, it's been 13 years that I've been using Power BI. I've been using tools for data analytics. Why? When I worked as DevOps engineer, when I worked as project manager, when I worked as cybersecurity specialist, then why did I use Power BI? Because Power BI is just the need of the hour. When you work in a team, you have to display the metrics. When you have to report to your leadership, you have to display the metrics. How are you going to do it? Will you use Excel? Excel is not scalable. So you will use Power BI. So adding Power BI is a real requirement right now. If you're able to add Power BI in your resume, that can be a great opportunity which can open up for you. Does that make sense, everyone? Are we good till here? Are you enjoying the session till here? Amazing. Thank you. Okay. Yeah. I hope I sound more prepared today, right? I tried my best. Okay. So yeah, this is what we discussed. Why Power BI? Easy to use interface, connects to various data sources, powerful data transformation tool, advanced AI-driven analytics, interactive dashboards and reports, cloud-based sharing and collaboration. This is all we discussed, isn't it? So Mr. Mukesh showed us that it is easy to use. We connected to multiple data sources. Data transformation is there. AI capabilities, it also has AI capabilities. Interactive dashboards. When you create a lot of charts, that is interactive dashboards, right? And cloud-based sharing, you can publish your chart to entire world with the help of cloud. Okay. So Power BI is backed by Microsoft Azure. Okay. So you can imagine that Power BI is actually good because it has so many features which are very important right now. Okay. The next thing is what are who use the Power BI? Like it can be any IT professional. That's the answer to it. Whether you're a project manager, financial expert, data analyst, business analyst, or any IT professional. As I said, I have never worked as data analytics in my life, but I have been using Power BI always. Okay. Uh, so data sources, there can be hundreds of data sources, 100 plus data sources. Excel, SQL Server, Azure, Google Analytics, Salesforce, API and web services, all these are different data sources from where Power BI can pull the data. So it can be in Excel format, Azure, it can be Google Analytics, anywhere. Okay. Now, career and job opportunities in Power BI, as I told you, this is something which we discussed already. Okay, now this is where I wanted to come when I was talking about big data. Can anyone tell me what is the big data? Is it a solution or a problem? Can anyone tell me what is the big data? Is it a problem or a solution? I want to hear from every one of you who is connected right now to tell me if you understand what is big data right now. Big data is the problem or a solution? It's a problem. Always remember. And this is a problem we have mentioned over here. 90% of world's data has been created in last 2 years. Can you imagine? 90% of the entire world data has been created in last 2 years. Is it a wow statement or not? That you are basically creating data every day so much that in last 2 years you have created a lot of data. 90% of data you have already created, right? Every day we generate 2.5 quintillion bytes of data. I am unable to even read this word. 2.5 quintillion. I don't even know how to calculate this. So you can imagine that it's a big problem. It's a big problem. Exactly. So this is what I wanted to tell you. Okay, yeah, this is the time I want to share with all of you. I'm proud to tell you this, that Thinkcloudly has become an official partner with CompTIA, and this is something, an achievement to Thinkcloudly's family. It took us almost 1 to 1.5 year, running behind CompTIA, making sure we are basically, standing and proving them that Thinkcloudly is a legit organization, and Thinkcloudly is working towards student success in an area of cyber security. It took us honestly 1.5 year of time. The entire thanks to entire team of Thinkcloudly, which made it possible that we worked closely with CompTIA, and today we are the official partner of CompTIA. Thanks everyone. And this congratulations, actually, it doesn't come to me, it goes to entire Thinkcloudly, because they made it possible. So congratulations to all the students and to the entire Thinkcloudly family. Please guys, note my number. This is my direct number. You can connect with me directly, 646-980-6267. If any one of you wants to connect with me and discuss more about things, what's going on in the market, just feel free to connect with me. I have posted the number. If anyone who is saving the number very first time, you can respond in the chat box saved, so that I am familiar with your name and I can expect your WhatsApp message. So 646-980-6267. And I'll wait for your message or call whenever you wish to, connect with me. Kunle, there will not be any coding. It's just a DEX query, what we'll be learning. Over to you, Zoe.
Thank you so much, Naman. So, as you all must be knowing, we offer you $100 as reference points when you give us a successful enrollment through your family or friend members. So never forget to, refer us to your family and friends, because it helps you gain this $100 as well.
And I cannot deny the fact that it really helps Thinkcloudly as well to grow. So
Yes.
please help us to grow. It would be our humble request to all of you. Okay,
Thank you.
thank you everyone. Thank you, Zoe. Thank you everyone. Thanks Zoe for hosting it, and thanks to entire team.
Thank you so much, Mr. Naman. Thank you, the entire team of Thinkcloudly, and all the students for joining in today.
Thank you for watching. Switch from non-IT to IT today. Explore www.thinkcloudly.com.